Hello there, welcome back to episode 3 of my gameplay series for Syphlonia in Songs of SYX version 65. In the last two episodes we started to build this wonderful little village. By now we have a running carpentry shop that turns out furniture at a really acceptable pace. We also have a little grain field whose first harvest will be due in the summer this year. That little grove here has been supplying us with wood for the better part of the last few years, and our first laboratory is down, cranking out research points, as humans are really good at that. So, alongside of the story, we have only 5 more years of time to achieve at least a technological breakthrough to get ourselves Syphalon mines going. So we have a substantial amount of that stuff around, and luckily Syphalon mines only require furniture and stone, so that should be really not that much of a big deal to get this done with. I've also set up a nice winding road down here to the mines, so no more sterile sharp cut roads anymore. I really like these way more, and I'll try to implement as many of them as possible. Maybe we can even rip out these at some point, because I really don't like them. So, we're currently waiting on the construction of the graveyard to be completed. We're also seeing a tremendous amount of food production, so we can totally pay for a few more people and food. The completion of the graveyard, which we constructed, or we began constructing at the beginning of the last episode, will be a huge step forward for the city, as this provides a lot of burial space for the citizenship, and it provides a lot of happiness due to that. So I'm now silently increasing the amount of scientists in the background here, and I'll be checking out if we can do it directly, but I'm not that sure if it is possible. So, the graveyard has been opened. It has 40 people, or space for 40 people, and it'll be like the centerpiece for the city from now. We are going to get ourselves that janitor, and I'm going to set up another janitor's workshop here at the entrance of the mines, so that the workers of the mines have a steady supply of maintenance. Alright, so I'm also going to use one of my existing blueprints for a warehouse here, as I want to make sure that we have access to material or storage for all those materials. We're going to store that stuff outside of the mountain, as this will be the logistical connector here. Alright, in the meantime, we're making sure that our city is thriving. Another thing that I think is totally necessary by now, we should maintain some imports and exports. So, since this is I'd say, classical center of town now, we're going to set up 4 export depots here. We have a small scale village square here, and I feel like that will be useful. I want in this run also to try to repurpose areas, to redecorate areas. So for example, the intelligent pastures will be reformed later. This little grain farm here will be reformed later. All these little things that are currently not really making any, giving us any bigger income. So immediately, we're going to stop the employment of the people that are working at the export depots that we're actually not running right now. So, we are going to start exporting wood to the guild, of course. So they want some of our coin and some of our meat in exchange for the trade. So we're officially now linked back with the home turf again. We're going to export a portion of our wood. So we're also going to start trading with the Tilapi of Melanip. I consider these Tilapi here to be more civilized. Maybe there's, yeah, they are the minority there. Whereas, or well, not really a minority, but look at these. There's way more tilapia here. In Melanip, we have at least a mixed spread, but secretly, we want to conquer that. Or Blast and Scan, or both, preferably. We'll see about that one day in the future. Alright, so with the exports of wood, we will be really better off. We'll be slowly cranking up our denarii with that, as this is really not much money that we're earning there, but it is a good start indeed. So, our new little outpost out there does require, of course, the standards of living. We're going to put a well right in front of the mines, as I really feel like that is really pretty awesome. And a somewhat smaller hearth right next to the janitor's workshop. There we go. Just want to make sure that the survival of the city is ensured. And here we go. So production rate of our meat has fallen to 31. We were a tad bit higher than that, but that was probably because we had some other income on the side. 3 more days for the first grain harvest. It's not gonna be terribly much. We will receive 180, and if we check out our recipe, so we will be able to transform that directly into 180 loaves of bread. None more, none less. But it ain't bad at all. So we're also capable of exporting stone if we really wanted to, but I'm refraining from that as I don't want to export a resource that is factually limited, as we don't have any quarries that are worth it here in the city. So not gonna do that. But we see here a nice influx of denarii because our first exports of wood have been received out there. Alright, meanwhile, down here things are moving along rather slowly. Let's see, what's the matter with our Dondorian friends? So I think the food day availability was one thing, and the food preferences also. I see. They're just sad that the bread is no more. Don't you worry too much, my friends. Bread will be available soon again. Now then, we can't authorize 7 more immigrants, but I'm shying from that. We have now a nice hunter's abode here, and I'd say we're just going to copy that once more. I have the furniture to set up another of these places, and therefore we should go for that. We don't have the workers currently, but that doesn't really matter, as these workers will bring up the food by themselves, so that's an absolute win. This way we can keep our production and consumption rates in balance, which is especially at this very moment a very, very important task. Meanwhile, down here the new city center is being slowly constructed. I'll take that slowly. It's totally okay that we're rolling slowly here. The 8 janitors in here are busy repairing those roads. But I mean, yeah, it ain't optimal. It's not an optimal distribution to have that on auto-employ, I'm well aware of that. But at the same time, I gotta say, it's just okay for me, as the auto-employment will also unemploy these people once they are not needed anymore there. So, yeah, I think it's okay. Alright, let's authorize that entire flock of people that are waiting to get to Sithlonia. So, 8 people of these 11 will be absorbed directly by the Hunter's Workshop, and another one will go directly into the lab, as we want to speed up our process to get the science down. Alright, in the meantime, new services are being constructed down here, which is absolutely important for our survival even. So, denaries are rolling in. That's a good, that's really good stuff to happen in there. Okay, homelessness. Just like I expected, we need more housing area. So, it might be not the most exclusive or desirable area to live at, you know, the backside of the pastures. I bet this must smell like dung all day, but at the same time, I feel like we really can get something going here. There we go. That's a nice apartment block, isn't it? Alright. So we keep exporting that wood. Larger portions now as we're setting up a huge new housing block. Alright. So the center of the village is thriving. We have a really nice area there. It might lack a little bit in terms of decoration, but we'll be getting there. Don't you worry. And the first grain harvest is in. And the bread is being baked again. That means we are now seeing a nice income of food here. There we go. So the more workers we get, the more easy it'll be to sustain a higher amount of population. We've reached the level of Prontex. Wonderful. So we can now train our armies and put people in dungeons. We're not quite there yet, but it's a nice start. I also recruited now a lot of new people as we are seeing a really stable production here. And we need more hands to get all the jobs done. There's just too much work here. So far, Cephalonia is a thriving village slash city to be. Yeah, let's call it like that. And year 5 is coming closer to its end. We made excellent progress. Let's employ 2 more scientists here, so we are going to be able to get that done too. And the general happiness of the Dondorians is getting a little bit higher as bread is finally available again. But we are not really producing much here. It's just that little acre here doesn't really throw off too many crops, but that's fine. The next one will be larger, as we will be able to stem a much bigger workforce there. So that'll be totally okay. My biggest concerns right now are taking things slowly enough so we're not going to die in any horrible way that we could imagine. Alright, so let's see. Nobody died so far at the graveyard. Quite relieved of that. So the construction of this place here, by the way, takes so long because we're constructing it on a rock deposit. This is always taking quite some time until your people are done removing that, as you see here. But I don't even want to get started doing anything down here before we got a janitor's shack down, as this is just the foundation to keep everything in shape here. It's just necessary. Alright. We got 10 janitors running around. I bet that's all just because of that wrecked road here. They're just trying to make sure that they get that road back in shape. By the way, we need more wood. So currently we're not employing any woodcutters. That is, yeah, something to change in the near future. So the winter woodcutting is happening and the springtime is upon us very soon. Currently it seems as if we're stretching our grain in a way that it is lasting through the entire time until the next harvest is in, I think. Let's see, we're consuming 10 units per day, so that'll last 6 days. Yeah, well, ish. It's not really good. A slaver came by. We're not buying any slaves. Not really interested in anything like that. Alright, so the wood chopping here does eat up a lot of workforce. I could employ more workforce right now, but I'm a little bit hesitant because I don't want to let things spiral out of control in any way. So, our exports are not dropping the prices too hard. It's really good. Tell you what, we're going to get ourselves 5 new people in here. So 80 people are now living in Cephalonia. We over-exceed the production, the necessary production of food, alone by our meat production, so we're on a really good pacing here. Alright. I think soon we will be replacing the pastures here with something else. I'd say more hunters, probably. We'll see about that. I haven't fully made up my mind yet. The most pressing matter for me right now is to get the tech points together to achieve the Scythalon mining tech, as we got to fulfill our goals, right? We don't want to get fired. So we keep cranking in those scientists. And so far, life is good here in Cephalonia. Can't deny, it is just a good place to live at. We'll be putting down roads northwards to the fishery grounds in the upcoming years. For now, the most pressing matter is the mines and such. And we finally finished the janitor. We have so many janitors employed. 16 of our 85 people are janitors. Could you believe that? This is quite a ridiculous number, but it is right now as necessary as it is. But as far as I know, these people will get unemployed as soon as possible. All right, so yeah, that's going to be quite the adventure down here, as we have to excavate large portions of that, put up lighting, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to get done. For some reason, the Dondorians didn't get any happier for us. It seems as if they are just missing out too many of the good things in life. Tell you what, we're going to set up another speaker in the southern areas of the city. I mean, currently there is not much happening down here, but it will. It won't take that long, too. And I feel like even the janitors deserve some news, too. Alright, so the Enclave of Guild. Yeah. There it is already. They're extorting us for money. It's not only the Cephalon, they're already extorting us for other things, too. Well, we're in the 6th year of Cephalonia. The tech points are coming together quite nicely, so it won't be that much of a big deal to get the tech points together that we require. I'm quite relieved about that. Let's pick up more people that'll work here. So we are now at the point where I would be employing new hunters before I start picking up new people into the city. As I always feel like it's better to have a zesty wood overproduction. Just my personal taste. Alrighty, so that warehouse is again taking a long time. But it's also going to serve the city quite well, as it will provide lots of storage for a longer period of time. At the same time, we're also yielding in a nice amount of denarii. Very happy about that. And we also managed to employ 20 janitors by now. But I'm pretty sure that once the roads are finished and repaired, that number will drop severely. At least I really hope so. It would be wild, and I will be reevaluating auto-employ if it doesn't. But I think it's gonna be fine. In our current situation, since we're exporting wood, we got to pay close attention to the chopped wood that is available here. It's quite a pesky process, and I want to have woodcutters employed at some point in the future, but we are just not there yet, my friends. We are just not there yet. Alright, so it's the winter of year 6, and it seems as if we are really well on time. So let's see. We got to dig into the cave. We got to make the corridors wider than that. It's really important that we don't have these narrow passages. I think it's totally okay for the cave to be windy and not a straight line, but you don't want any of these narrow cavities yet. Not yet, any longer. Because that's just something where I'd say that is what we're going to remove with our industrialized approach. So the first attempt, or the first breach, will be into this chamber. This is where we'll be building the first Cephalon mine. And since it's so fitting to the story, we're probably going to get started with that whole Cephalon mining business quite soon. So I'm going to employ 3 more researchers here to make sure we have all the tech points that we could wish for. And let's go. I mean, seriously, why not? It's literally the entire point of the series so far, and it's the thing that the city is named after. So we totally should get started with the Cephalon mines, don't you think? Alright. So our meat production has reached a point where we don't where we cannot store it anymore. So I want to copy that warehouse, and we're going to put another one of this type into this neighborhood here. So since this is going to be my agricultural district, we're going to put this nice little warehouse down here, just like that. We're going to have a bit of a road, and here I discovered the brush tool for me. It's really cool, as it is just providing you a tool that gives you the ability to just draw those roads. Here we go. Just a itty-bitty crooky-wonky road. I like it. You know, there's nothing more horrible than these straight-cut roads. I mean, we would nowadays do it like that. But let's just pretend that there are ridges and geographical reasons for the roads to be built like that. In reality, you have that, as a matter of fact. Real roads are wound like that because there's a bit of a slope there, or massive boulders beneath the earth there, so you don't want to dig out those massive boulders. You just get the job done otherwise, and yeah, that's how these things come together. Alright, so here we can just roll the brush over this area here, as it will provide us roads. There we go. And yeah, I'm quite generous with those roads, I know. And as you see here, the janitor's range is inside the caverns. That's exactly what we wanted. So what this city now really needs is metal for lighting. We really need some lighting inside there. I don't know, is lighting something we need to research, or is it a decoration we have available right from the get-go? We have it right available. So we're probably going to go for something like this. Come on, let's do this. So we're going to set up an import depot. Oh, right there's a forest. It didn't really work well here, whatever. So, import depot. We're going to import a really small amount of metal, just enough to build ourselves some lanterns and keep them running at all times. We got 80k denarii out of our wood exports. Load there, wood. It's not the winter time yet, but we totally need to make sure that we have some trees available. Yeah, I'm building another warehouse, so of course my stockpiles are dwindling hardcore. Of course. What else should it be? So, year 7. I think we'll be totally producing Syphilan in year 10. Maybe even earlier. Do I get a bonus if I get that done earlier? I never wondered. So, we're going to import like 50% of our stockpiles. Metal is a very, very costly good. 10 units of that already cost us 4,000 denarii. So importing 40 units will be 16,000 denarii, but considering that we can construct a lot of lanterns just with that alone, I think it will be totally okay. There we go. Oh, I don't want that. Don't build roads on the Syphilan, you fools. Alright. And now we put in some lights into this place. Lighting comes in different sizes, but, you know, with such a small and narrow passageway here, we're gonna be using the small ones. And it'll look epic, I bet. There we go. And just like that, I think I am already ready. Turn out that stuff. So we're going to construct that first mine. Yeah, well, not really. Ugh. So not quite yet. I think we are still... Let's see, dig into mountain. Refill mountain cave. Yeah, you see, you can't even reconstruct those things. Sick. Alright, so since this northernmost part here is not hosting any Sithalon, we're going to build the mine on top of that. Alright. Probably not this episode anymore, though. We'll see about that. So, the torches haven't been built completely yet, but there's the first few of them already burning. That's just because the imported metal is not stored in the warehouses yet, but our brave miners already have some lighting going on for them. Alright. Good, really good. Producing all the things that our city wants, and we are seeing in the winter of the year 7 the completion of that project, or at least, no, I should rather say the start of this big project. So we're going to drop as much mine as possible on top of that. So we'll be cutting off parts of the room. Area is not connected. Oh, geez. Alright, so this is quite cumbersome that we cannot see this part here correctly. Alright, so let's see. 27 workers can be employed here already. There we go. So I bet that the auxiliaries weren't placeable because there was actually too much wall selected there. So yeah, it's getting cramped here. But we got that. Now we only need to find some place where we can put down the storage bin. I tell you what, we're just going to expand the mine a tad bit into this area here. And the storage bin can then be found here. Okay, 72 pieces of furniture. That's a walk in the park, isn't it? So, there we go. My friends, the Sithalon mine is being created. So we have to dig out a couple of spots here and there, but all in all, it's happening. So I also realized that my furniture stockpiles are brim-filled. So we should be getting this done too. One exporter, and we're just selling off the 90% here. Export when we're above 90%. So we're only selling off the stuff that would be spoiling in our storages anyways. We basically could sell 25% without any issues whatsoever. So, my good friends, the Sithalon mines are opened. So, of course, we can't employ many people. We're going to start with 5 miners. They'll be cranking out 0.4 Sithalon a day. So, starting from here, we are now... Well, are we owing them taxes already? Or only from the start of year 10? Well, I don't know so far. I haven't thought through all of the rules of my little roleplay here, but, well, I'll be having a thinker about that in between the episodes. There we go. So, I'm gonna be making this area here a little bit more cleared out and orderly. I really love a natural development of a mining area like that, where we slowly start expanding, where we just chuck out just the very basics. You see, there is a vast richness of Sithalon here everywhere. I love it. Can't wait to get this through, my friends. Alright, so we're done with today's episode, my dear friends. So, thanks for watching. It's been my pleasure. Feel free to drop me your comments down below. I'm all ears to hearing back from you. So far, I am very, very happy with how this went down. The city is coming along quite nicely. We have a village center here. We have a remote outpost for the Sithalon mines already. we have a running civil online. I mean, come on. In the first 10 years, we were already really big in business, so what could be better? Leave a thumbs up for the algorithm. If you'd be so kind, I'd be very, very happy about that. And of course, consider subscribing. It'd be super awesome to have you. And check out the description box leading to the entirety of the playlist, my Discord server where you can have a chat with me or like-minded gamers. And yeah, check out Patreon, PayPal, or buy me a coffee, or the channel membership system, whatever. I'd be super happy if you did, and a big, big thanks to all of you who already do. And at the very end of this video, as usual, I want to thank everybody watching these videos until the very end, or not even until the very end, but they won't hear this thanks here. And yeah, it's awesome that you stay that long. Thanks for being around, thanks for paying these videos so much attention, and I hope you're having a great day, and see you all next time. Bye bye.